Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're plunging into a source that's, well, pretty intense, the Queen of the Sea.
Oh, definitely. It's got this dark adventure vibe, but there's revenge, maybe even a kind of twisted romance, all wrapped up in this huge pirate story.
It is huge, and it's more than just, swords and ships.
Absolutely. I mean, right from the start, the source just throws you into something really brutal, really emotional.
Yeah, it does. We're talking about a night off Vera's Reach. It's dark, ships are burning, screams everywhere.
Pure chaos.
Yeah.
And right in the middle of it, this young girl is captured.
And the source says something chilling, right? That after that night, something inside her never came back.
Yeah. You immediately get that sense of deep trauma that this is going to be the core of everything.
Okay, so let's really get into it. We start with Arya Vera. She's 13.
Right, this is part one, The Broken Sparrow, and her world is just gone. Her village burned, everyone she loved lost.
And there's that detail, isn't there, about her clutching her brother's little wooden toy, hiding under his skiff?
It's such a small thing, but it says so much. Just the sheer scale of the loss, how vulnerable she is right then.
It really brings it home. And then he arrives. Kale Draxus.
The Bloodhound.
Yeah.
That name alone tells you a lot.
Doesn't it just? And he takes her to this place called the Black Maw.
Which is basically a floating prison ship. And the conditions are awful. Chains, hunger, just barking orders, grim stuff.
Truly grim. But even in all that horror, Arya's, well, she's not just passive, is she?
No, not at all. What's really striking is how she observes everything. The source mentions her noticing knots, the stars, how people walk. Even then.
It's like she's soaking it all in, even the bad stuff, almost looking for weaknesses.
Exactly. It feels less like just surviving the moment and more like she's already, maybe subconsciously, cataloging how this whole system works, how she's being oppressed. It's that first tiny spark of the leader she becomes.
That inner steel. And it gets tested, right? With that escape attempt.
Yeah, she nearly makes it to a rowboat, but Kale catches her. And that leads to the branding.
Ugh, that scene is brutal. The hissing iron, the fang mark on her shoulder, it's described so viscerally.
But the key thing is, she doesn't scream.
Right. What do you think that silence means there?
I think it's pure defiance. It's more than just bearing pain. It's refusing to give in the satisfaction, refusing to show weakness. It shows this incredible core strength that even that can't break.
A refusal to be broken.
Yeah. And then later, you get this contrast, her stargazing, whispering names like a prayer. It's that mix, enduring the horror but still holding on to something.
Hope, maybe. Or just memory.
Could be both. Then the storm hits.
Ah, the storm. It's just this massive, chaotic force. But for Arya, it's an opportunity.
A terrifying one. But she takes it, breaks her chains, sheer willpower there, stabs a guard.
A desperate move.
Totally desperate, and then just dives into the churning black water. I mean, the risk of drowning is huge.
But it's better than staying on the Black Maw. Which brings us to part two, the rise of the Storm Queen.
So she washes up, somehow, on this ship, the Marauder's Mercy. And the crew's reaction is interesting. They kind of see her as this damaged thing, maybe cursed.
Understandable, given what she's been through. But then Garrick shows up.
Right, Garrick. An outlawed naval guy.
Yeah.
And he sees something different in her. Not just the victim, but the fury underneath.
And the source says he fed it steel. What does that mean to you?
It sounds like mentorship, but a very specific kind. Not just teaching her how to fight physically, but how to take that burning rage and shape it, focus it, give it an edge.
Make it a weapon.
Pretty much. And that fury gets unleashed, doesn't it? That scene below deck.
Oh, yeah. Really stark. Some drunk crewman tries to, well, take advantage.
And Arya just deals with it, a chipped knife, a slit throat. Decisive. Chillingly so.
And the silence afterwards, the source says it was deafening. It was like a turning point.
It absolutely is.
Yeah.
A baptism by blood, really. And suddenly the crew looks at her differently. They avoid her. Some call her cursed.
And she kind of leans into that, doesn't she? Embraces being cursed.
Yeah, why do you think she does that? A bold move.
Well, maybe it gives her power. If they fear her, they leave her alone. They don't mess with her.
It's like psychological armor, turning their superstition against them. Smart, in a ruthless way.
And she doesn't just settle for being feared. She wants control. There's a mutiny.
Which she hijacks, basically. Outmaneuvers everyone, uses her cunning, her ruthlessness, and bang, she's in command.
Takes the ship, renames it the Vengeance. I mean, the name says it all.
Doesn't it? And creates her own flag, that red fang, over a black background.
It's like she's shedding her old skin completely, forging a new identity right there.
Absolutely. The name, the flag, It's all symbolic. This is who I am now. This is what drives me. It's a declaration.
And what she does with that power is interesting, too. She starts raiding, but it's not really about gold.
No, her targets are specific.
Yeah.
Slavers, tyrants, people who misuse power, the kind of people who destroyed her life.
So it's still tied to her past, to that initial trauma.
Deeply tied. Her fleet grows, her reputation spreads, and she becomes this paradox, right? A savior to the oppressed, but a total nightmare to those in power.
That complexity makes her fascinating. Which leads us into part 3. The Leviathan's Hoard. Things get even more complicated here.
Yeah, this rumor starts circulating about a cursed treasure, the Leviathan's Hoard, hidden somewhere dangerous, the Dead Shoals.
And guess who's after it?
None other than Draxus. He wants it to regain power, get back what he lost.
And Arya's reaction when she hears Kale is involved.
The source says she smiles. For the first time in weeks, apparently. It tells you everything about her focus. It's still Kale. It's always been Kale.
Revenge is still the primary driver. And this is where Darien Voss comes in.
Ah, Darien.
Yeah.
A complicated figure. Former slave hunter. Scars, rage, guilt. It's all there in his description. He offers Arya his sword.
And she's wary, obviously. Why trust a former slave hunter?
You wouldn't, normally. But the text says she sees something in his eyes. A recognition, maybe? Shared trauma, perhaps?
A darkness mirroring her own.
Could be. It's definitely not a simple alliance. Charged right from the start.
But then he proves useful, maybe more than useful. He saves her life.
Yeah, she gets this nasty infection, could have died. He apparently carries her easily, tends to her. And then there's that moment. He sees the brand on her shoulder.
The fang mark.
Right. And he doesn't say anything, just observes it. It's this silent acknowledgement of her past, her pain.
An unspoken connection forming there.
Seems like it. A shift in how they see each other, maybe based on that shared understanding of suffering, even if their roles in causing or receiving it were different.
But things go wrong, badly wrong at Hollow Reef.
Oh, devastatingly wrong. It's a betrayal. They walk into an ambush.
And Garrick, the one who fed her steel.
Garrick is killed. They lose 2 ships. It's a massive blow.
And the source of the betrayal. One of her own.
Yeah. Sold them out for coin. Loyalty traded for silver.
Arya's response. Predictably brutal, I guess.
Absolutely. She hangs the traitor, nails the message of his betrayal to his chest. No mercy.
The source says the grief hardened her even more. Not softened, hardened.
It just fuels the fire, reinforces that ruthless need for control and loyalty above all else. There's no room for weakness in her world.
Which sets the stage for the final confrontation with Kale's fleet.
The big showdown, cannons roaring, the sea on fire. It sounds epic.
And Darien is there, facing his own past in the midst of it all.
While Arya fights like someone with absolutely nothing left to lose. No fear.
It's just pure focus on Kale.
Which leads to that final duel on Kale's burning ship.
And Kale tries one last time to put her down, calling her Little Sparrow.
His old nickname for her, trying to remind her of when she was powerless.
But it doesn't work. She's not that girl anymore.
Far from it. She runs him through with her blade, and then that final act.
With the brand. It's intense. She tears the branded skin from her own shoulder.
And forces it into his mouth as he dies.
Wow. Talk about symbolic. What does that act signify, do you think?
It's like forcing him to literally consume the pain and the mark he put on her. Reclaiming her identity, making him swallow his own cruelty. It's the ultimate brutal rejection of his power over her.
Visceral. Incredibly visceral, but the story doesn't end right there with his death. There's an epilogue. Empire of Tides.
Right. She doesn't just sail off. She builds something. A haven.
Yeah.
For the broken, the lost, the angry. People like her, essentially. She becomes a leader, but on her own terms.
Her justice is still described as brutal, her mercy rare.
Yeah, she hasn't suddenly become soft. But she keeps her promises to those she protects. It suggests maybe a purpose beyond just revenge now.
Using her power, however harsh, to shape a space for others who've suffered.
Exactly. A shift maybe towards building something, not just destroying.
And that final image, Arya on her ship, the crimson crown, wind in her hair, looking out at the sea.
A complete transformation from that terrified girl under the skiff.
Yeah.
She's the queen of the sea.
But then there's that last line, it really sticks with you.
They called me the queen of the sea. But crowns are heavy, and mine was forged in blood.
Whew. What a closer. It frames everything differently, doesn't it?
It really does. It's a stark reminder of the cost. The power is real, the title is hers, but it came from immense violence and suffering, and that weight is always there.
So, wrapping up this deep dive into the Queen of the Sea, we've really charted this incredible and frankly terrifying journey. Arya Vera, from victim to, well, to the queen.
Yeah, driven by loss, by resilience, by this relentless need for justice, or maybe vengeance. The lines get blurry.
They really do. And her story leaves you thinking about power, revenge, and the scars they leave.
Absolutely. She achieved her goal in a way. She defeated her enemy, built this haven. But that final line, forged in blood, makes you question the foundation.
Exactly. It leaves you, the listener, with a heavy thought. After seeing everything Arya went through, everything she did, can peace, real peace, ever truly be built on a foundation like that? Something to chew on. Thanks for joining us for this deep dive.